So, have you ever found yourself just staring at the clock at work, feeling completely and totally checked out? You've probably been told, or maybe you've even told yourself, that you're just being lazy. But what if I told you that feeling has nothing to do with being lazy? That it's not a personal failure, but actually your brain's ancient survival system trying to save you from an environment that's frankly starving it.
And if you feel this way, you are definitely not alone. I mean, not by a long shot. Gallup, the big polling company, they do these massive ongoing studies, and they found that a staggering 70% of people feel actively disengaged from their jobs. That's most of us, just kind of going through the motions every day.
So you have to ask, right? Is this some kind of global epidemic of laziness? Did a huge chunk of the population just decide they don't want to work anymore? Or is there something fundamental about the way modern work is structured that's actually fighting against our own biology?
Well, that's what we're going to dig into. We're going to look at what's called the seeking system in your brain, how we fell into this efficiency trap, why some company cultures feel so different, and finally, what that feeling of boredom is really trying to tell you.
Okay, first up, let's get into the neuroscience of it all. Because to really get why you feel disengaged, we have to talk about this powerful, ancient piece of wiring in our heads called the seeking system.
So deep inside your brain, there's this region, this internal engine that runs on dopamine, that feel-good chemical. Its whole job is to push you, to urge you to explore, to learn new things, and to figure stuff out. When you're chasing new information, your brain is basically getting a hit of this stuff. It's like a heat-seeking missile for anything new and interesting.
And here's the bottom line. Your brain absolutely craves this exploration. It's why we get hooked on videos and articles that promise to teach us something new. This system was not designed for doing the same repetitive task over and over again. So that soul-crushing boredom you feel, that's a biological signal. It's your brain literally screaming for something new to chew on.
Right, so if we're all hardwired to be explorers, how on earth did our workplaces become so, well, unexplorable? The answer is something called the efficiency trap. It's this century-long obsession with basically engineering curiosity right out of our jobs.
It really started back in the industrial era. You had scientific management, which was all about breaking every single job down into its tiniest, most repeatable little piece. Then came the corporate ladder, where the way to get ahead was to become an expert in one very specific thing. And more recently, we got the KPI revolution, which reduced entire jobs to just a handful of numbers you had to hit.
And you got to understand, this wasn't some accident. The whole point was to remove human variability, to remove curiosity, all in the name of making things scalable and efficient. You weren't supposed to explore. You were supposed to be a predictable, interchangeable cog in a giant machine.
All right, so let's fast forward. How did all that old-school thinking create the modern office that we all know today? Well, for many of us, it created what can feel like a cage for our curiosity.
I mean, just think about it. We've got job titles that are so hyper-specialized, they have 5 different adjectives. Job descriptions are treated like these sacred, unchangeable texts. Your KPIs tell you exactly what to do, and anything outside of that is considered a waste of time. We're constantly told to stay in our lane, which is just corporate speak for stop being curious.
And this is where it all comes to a head. This is the central conflict. Our brains are built for the thrill of the hunt, for chasing down knowledge and solving new problems. But so many modern jobs just ask us to count the catch, over and over and over. That dopamine hit you get from real discovery just feels miles away when you can get a tiny one by just checking a box.
Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom, right? Not every single workplace is like this. And actually, the huge contrast between a tiny, scrappy startup and a corporate giant shows us exactly what our brains are craving.
Think about it. In a brand new startup, it's all hands on deck. Survival depends on people being curious. You have to wear multiple hats. You learn on the fly. You solve problems you've never even seen before. It might be chaotic, but for your brain's seeking system, it's an absolute feast. Now contrast that with a huge corporation. They're built on process and predictability. Deviating from the plan is a risk, not an opportunity. You're paid to be an expert in your tiny, narrow box, and that's it.
Okay, so we've got this major clash. Our ancient biology is fighting with our modern work environment. And the result is we feel disengaged. But what if that feeling isn't the problem? What if that feeling is actually your brain's way of trying to give you the solution?
Now, if you take away one thing from all this, please let it be this. Your brain is working perfectly. That restless, bored, disengaged feeling, that's not a sign that you're broken. It's a feature of your operating system. It's a bright, flashing warning light on your dashboard, telling you that a core nutrient is missing from your diet. Meaningful exploration.
I mean, really just let that sink in for a second. Boredom isn't just emptiness. It's a protest. It's your brain's perfectly natural, perfectly healthy response to a deeply unnatural environment. It's trying to get you to move, to learn, to seek something more.
So what do we do about it? How do we answer that call? Well, you can start small. First, just acknowledge the feeling. Recognize it for what it is, a signal, not a failure. That alone is a huge step. Next, try to identify little cracks where curiosity could get in. Is there one thing in your daily work that you could learn more about? Then propose something tiny. You don't need a budget or a big plan. Just pitch a small experiment. And finally, and this one is crucial, schedule it. Put 30 minutes of curiosity time in your calendar and guard it. It's a small way to start feeding that starving system.
So look, the biggest shift here is really just in your mindset. The next time that wave of boredom or disengagement washes over you at your desk, please don't beat yourself up. Don't call yourself lazy.
Instead, just listen to that signal. Honor it. Recognize it for what it is. It's your biology, your evolutionary superpower, telling you it's time to learn something new. It's time to seek.
So I want to leave you with a small challenge. Forget about changing your entire career overnight. Just ask yourself, what is one small, new thing you could learn this week that would make your job just 1% more interesting? What's one question you could ask? What's one little thing you could seek out, starting today?